The morning air is sharp and tense, headlights stretch for miles along the Alaska highway, glinting off the frost and the steel of idling trucks. News helicopters hover overhead, their blades beating out the urgency of the moment. Reporters shout into microphones, their voices nearly drowned by the honking horns and the confusion. Breaking news. The United States-Canada border at the Alaska highway is closed. Hundreds of vehicles are stranded. Families, truckers, and tourists are caught in a nightmare. Children press their faces to foggy car windows, watching as border guards pace back and forth. Truck drivers step out of their cabs, shaking their heads in disbelief. Some try to call dispatchers, but cell signals are weak. The line of vehicles snakes back for miles, curving around pine forests and disappearing into the snowy horizon. No one knows when, or if, the border will reopen. People share snacks and stories as the hours pass. A family from Anchorage offers sandwiches to a couple from Vancouver. A trucker with a load of medical supplies tries to keep his cargo cool in the freezing dawn. Tension mixes with kindness, but fear grows with every passing minute. The world's longest open border is suddenly a wall. The scene is surreal. Cameras capture the disbelief and the anger. This border, usually a symbol of friendship, is now the front line of a new crisis. The world is watching, and the stakes could not be higher. The Alaska Highway is more than just a road, it is a vital artery that connects the remote north to the rest of the continent. Built during World War II, it was a marvel of engineering and cooperation. The highway winds through wild forests, crosses icy rivers, and links Alaska with the heart of Canada. For decades, it has carried people, goods, and dreams across the border. Every year, thousands of trucks haul food, fuel, and medical supplies along this route. Families travel for reunions, adventures, and work. Small towns depend on the steady flow of travelers and trade. The highway is a lifeline for communities on both sides, isolated villages, bustling border towns, and the cities beyond. When the Alaska Highway closes, everything stops. Shelves in Alaskan stores go empty. Canadian businesses lose customers and contracts. Emergency vehicles can't cross quickly. Even tourism, a major source of income, grinds to a halt. The closure is not just an inconvenience, it is a sudden, deep wound. For many, the highway represents more than commerce. It is a symbol of trust and partnership between the United States and Canada. Its closure is a shock to the system, a reminder of how fragile even the strongest bonds can be when politics turns hostile. This crisis did not appear overnight. It began with a simmering dispute over trade. The United States announced new tariffs on Canadian steel and lumber, citing national security and the need to protect American jobs. Canada responded with words of regret, then with tariffs of its own on American dairy, cars, and machinery. Talks broke down. Meetings ended in frustration. Both sides accused each other of unfair practices. The rhetoric grew sharper. Politicians made promises to stand up for our workers and defend our economy. The media covered every twist, fueling public anger and suspicion. Canada's decision to close the Alaska Highway was the final blow. Officials said it was a necessary step to protect Canadian interests and send a message. The United States called it an overreaction and demanded an immediate reopening. Neither side wanted to back down. The result was a standoff with no clear end. The Alaska Highway, once a symbol of unity, became a casualty of tit-for-tat politics. The real cost, however, would be paid by ordinary people. The human cost is immediate and heartbreaking. Truckers lose thousands of dollars each day their rigs sit idle. Perishable goods spoil in trailers. Families miss important events, weddings, funerals, medical appointments. Students can't return to school. Workers can't get to their jobs. The ripple effects are everywhere. Local businesses along the highway suffer first. Gas stations, motels, and diners lose customers overnight. Owners worry about layoffs. Employees face uncertain futures. In small towns, where everyone knows each other, the pain is personal. "We're like family up here," says one shopkeeper. "Now we're cut off." Travelers caught at the border try to stay hopeful. Some sleep in their cars. Others gather around campfires, sharing news and rumors. Volunteers bring blankets and coffee, but anxiety grows as supplies run low. Parents worry about their children's safety and comfort. The cost is not just financial, it is emotional. People feel betrayed by leaders who promise stability. They fear for their livelihoods, their futures, and the bonds that once united two nations. The closure of the Alaska Highway sends shockwaves far beyond the border. Supply chains break down. Factories in the United States and Canada slow production or shut down. Supermarkets in Alaska ration food and medicine. Canadian exporters lose contracts. The pain spreads quickly. International markets react with alarm. Investors worry about the stability of North American trade. Stock prices dip. Shipping companies reroute cargo, adding days and costs. The world's attention turns to a remote stretch of highway, now a flashpoint for global commerce. Other countries watch nervously. If the United States and Canada, longtime allies, can't resolve their differences, what hope is there for global cooperation? The crisis becomes a warning. Even the closest partnerships can unravel. Meanwhile, humanitarian groups rush to help those stranded. Aid convoys try to reach isolated communities. The world is reminded that the effects of political decisions are felt most by those with the least power to change them. Lawyers on both sides are, well, gearing up for a serious fight. U.S. officials argue that closing the highway violates trade agreements and international law. Meanwhile, Canadian leaders insist they have the right to protect their economy. Courts are just flooded with lawsuits from businesses and individuals seeking damages. Diplomats are shuttling between capitals, searching for some kind of solution. But honestly, meetings are tense, and progress is slow. Each side keeps demanding concessions, and trust is in really short supply. The threat of further escalation hangs over every single conversation. Legal experts warn that this dispute could drag on for months, maybe even years. The longer it lasts, the deeper the wounds get. Both countries risk losing not just money, but also the goodwill that has defined their relationship for generations. The world's eyes are fixed on the negotiators. Every word is weighed carefully. Every gesture is scrutinized. The stakes here are not just legal, they're deeply human. Politicians on both sides are fanning the flames. Some are calling for tough action, blaming the other country for the crisis. Others, though, urge restraint and dialogue. Protests start breaking out in cities and towns. People are demanding answers and accountability. Social media just explodes with anger and fear. Hashtags are trending worldwide. Videos of stranded travelers and empty shelves go viral. The mood is volatile. Some folks fear that the crisis could spill over into other areas. Energy, security, even culture. Leaders are facing pressure from all sides. Business groups warn of disaster. Community leaders are pleading for calm. The public is growing impatient. The longer this crisis drags on, the harder it becomes to find any kind of common ground. Yet, amid all the noise, some voices are calling for hope. They remind everyone of the long history of friendship and cooperation. They urge leaders to remember what's really at stake. Not just trade, but trust. The need for diplomacy, honestly, has never been greater. Experts are urging both governments to step back from the brink. This is not just about tariffs or trucks, says one negotiator. It's about the future of our partnership. The world's eyes are on Washington and Ottawa. Diplomacy requires patience and, humility. Both sides have to listen, compromise, and rebuild trust. It's not easy. There are no quick fixes here, but the alternative, prolonged hostility, would be far worse for everyone. Community leaders are organizing forums and town halls, giving people a voice. Business owners are writing open letters, urging calm and cooperation. Faith groups hold vigils for unity and peace. The message is clear. Anger will not solve this crisis. The world is watching, hoping for a breakthrough. The Alaska Highway is more than just a road. It's a test of whether two nations can move past anger and find common ground again. This crisis is, really, a turning point. The scars are not going to heal overnight. Jobs have been lost. Trust has been shaken. But there's also an opportunity, a chance to rebuild stronger than before. Leaders must choose dialogue over division. They must remember the millions of lives that depend on their decisions. The Alaska Highway can be reopened. Trade can resume. But the real work is restoring faith and friendship. The world is watching. The US and Canada have always been more than just neighbors. They are partners, allies, and friends. This crisis is a test, but also a chance to prove that old bonds can survive even the hardest storms. In the end, it's not just about roads or tariffs. It's about people, families, workers, and communities on both sides of the border. Their future depends on what happens next. Let it be a story of reconciliation, not regret.